guys! Today what we're going to be doing is looking at how to decorate a Christmas tree. This was a request that I had from a few of you. What we're going to do is decorate the Christmas tree one step at a time, and then we're going to give it flashing lights. It's something that has a really cool effect, and people will take notice of it if you throw it into your story. So let's grab our laptops. I have mine. And always have your coffee. I always have that. And let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you the composition of the overlay itself. It's actually going to comprise of 7 different overlays. You have the tree, the baubles, all of the lights turned off, and then each separate colored light turned on. So as you can see, I'm going to turn things on and off so you can see them pop on and off the screen. And then you can also see the green glow turning on and turning off as I toggle this little sight button over here. This is just to make you understand what goes into this flashing lights scenario. So once you get into the portal, what you're going to do is get your correct background. I'm using one of Episode's own backgrounds for this one, which is the Common Room Ski Lodge Winter, just because it's a wintry scene. And there's a lot of empty space in zone 3 of this, which is a great place to put a Christmas tree. And then you start adding in all of your overlays one at a time. I tend to put in the overlays first and then spot place them after, because you can do a quick copy and paste for all the spot placements, and I am lazy like that. It's a lot of coding. Any shortcuts you can take when it comes to putting in these kind of things, you should take for sure. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're in the right zone. Since we stuck everything in zone 3, let's make sure we cut to zone 3. And I'm also going to place my own character within the scene to make sure we have a good scale and make sure we can actually show a character actually physically decorating the tree, which adds a bit to the ambiance of the whole scene and makes it a bit more dynamic than just having an already decorated Christmas tree in the scene, which you can do as well. But this is how to actually make a character decorate the Christmas tree. So with this first run through the visualizer, what we're going to do is check to see that all the overlays are in the correct place. So at the moment, I think the tree's actually a little bit small, or maybe I'm a little bit too big, but what we're going to do is actually enlarge the tree. So flip through, find the tree overlay, and then make it a bit bigger so that it fills the screen. And make sure you take down the dimensions, the spot placement, and the scale so that you can put it back into the coding in the portal. Now, once you have all those coordinates and the scale of the tree, what you can do, because they're all made together and they're all the same size, they fit together perfectly, you can highlight all of them like I'm doing here and change them all at the same time. And as you see, once you click on one certain number, all the other numbers that are the same will highlight within the portal. It's a little difficult when everything's at 0. You have to make sure you get the right 0, but everything will line up. Everything will be on the tree in the same spot. You won't have to mess around with each individual overlay, and it makes it 10 times faster. Also make sure you put the tree in zone 2, because otherwise if you keep it in zone 3, it'll be completely off the screen. Just make sure you check every single placement when you move things around. Now, what we're going to do to start with the bare tree is turn the opacity of every other layer, with the exception of the Christmas tree, to 0 in 0 seconds. And that'll just make sure that when you start the scene, all of the other overlays are off. As you can see, I copy and paste everything. Again, just makes everything a lot faster. And this comes from doing this so many times and writing everything out a million times and realizing, actually, I don't need to do this much work. So now we have all of the overlays off. What we're going to do make sure you delete that and. I like to put this before the spot placement of my character. It's just a personal thing for me. It doesn't matter too much. So now what we're going to do is actually get the timings down of how things turn on within the scene. So I always like to pause for a beat just for effect. Then the baubles will pop on, and we'll pause again. Just to make it a bit more dynamic, I'm going to have the character reach down and kneel on the floor to get the lights finished off on the tree. And then the trees will pop on separately. And then the character is going to stand back up. Then she's going to walk off screen. And then what she's going to do is turn on the lights. And again, you can just copy and paste from earlier where you see all the lights that turned on. You're going to change the opacity to 1 and you're going to do it in 1 second. So they come on in 1 second. They're not just going to pop on when you turn them on. You're going to have them slowly turn on. Then you're going to make the character walk back onto screen. She realizes they're not flashing. So she hits a switch. In this case, we're going to do hang up phone neutral. It's a good one for if you want to have any things kind of streamlined turned on, like smart lights or something like that. And this is where the flashing lights part comes in. So what you're going to do is you're going to set the opacity back to 0 on one of the colored lights in a certain amount of time, and then turn them back on again in a different amount of time and loop that infinite times. Again, you can copy and paste all of this. Because they're all named the same thing, all I have to do is change the color at the beginning. And then what you're going to go through and do is change the timings of how quickly they go on and off so that you get a staggered flashing light effect. So they're not all popping on and popping off at the same time. You know how twinkle lights work. They're all flashing at different times. You can set them to different times. Some of them are very stroby, some of them are very subtle. So you can do this however you want. If you want them really quick, make them really quick. Set the timing down to 0.2, 0.1, and they'll go really quickly. I like it to be a bit slower, but it's totally up to you. And once you have that in place, you can do whatever you want, because then all your lights are going to be flashing, and that's it. Okay, so now that everything's in place, what we're going to do is do a run through. So you have your character decorating the tree, and then they bend down, and then the lights pop onto the tree. They'll walk off screen, turn the lights on. You can see the glow coming to the outside of the lights. I come back into the screen, I hit my phone, and the lights start flashing. Now you can see it because you have speech bubbles and I'm standing in the way looking like a dork. You have to look down in the bottom corner to see the lights actually flashing. It's very subtle, but it'll give your story this real wow factor, and everyone's going to ask how you did it, and now you know how to do it. It's simple and straightforward, and once you have a good understanding of how overlays and layers work, you can add this in so many different ways in your story, and I hope you do. If you like this video, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more videos that'll be coming soon, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.